Nat's pregnant. First of all, just want to say I'm absolutely thrilled. I'm excited. I mean, looking at my face, you might not think that I am, but I really am excited to be having a second child. It's just, the second one is so different. Like the first one, it's just like it's just hope, optimism. You think everything's gonna go right, and then you just run right into a brick wall, and you're like, oh my God, that was so much harder than I thought. We just went to the first ultrasound at 8 weeks, which is so early. The baby's like the size of like a grape. It's still really small. It was still really special to see. And so it was a cool moment, and it's starting to feel more real. And I think the further along that we get in the pregnancy, the more excited that we're gonna be. So it feels like just yesterday that I was renovating and redecorating this entire office, and all of a sudden I'm leaving. Oh no, that's because it was just yesterday. The decision to pull the plug on this office and find another place to work, another place to create from, to do podcasts and everything that I'm doing on YouTube was a pretty easy decision. I realized right away that this was just not gonna work. I know that there are a lot of people in the comments that were saying like, hey Matt, like you can totally have a 3-bedroom house and then both your kids can share a bedroom. Like, putting aside the fact that we had such a difficult time with Frankie and his sleep, I think the main thing for me is that I really need a space where I can get deep work done. I need a space where I'm not gonna be distracted. And I just know after having one kid that you add a newborn on top of it with a toddler, all of them at home at the same time, it's gonna create so much friction between Nat and I, and it's also going to create a really difficult barrier for me to get into a state of deep work. And so I just realized right away, I need a space that I can go to away from the house to get work done, to film videos, to edit, and to do it at my own pace and my own speed. So pretty soon after we found out we were having a second, I decided to start looking for potential office spaces to work from, and I found an incredible spot. So the spot's pretty close to home. In case there's an emergency, Nat needs me, I can run back pretty quickly. I think it's gonna work perfectly for what I need it for. So this is my new studio. So ever since I got started on YouTube, I've never had my own creative space. Financially, it just never really made sense because I can do a lot with a little bit of space. But obviously now that we have a kid with another kid on the way, it's just, you can't. Like for my sanity, for Nat's sanity, for the sanity of everybody in the family, I need to get the fuck out of there. We've got the kitchen. Hey guys, tiny little kitchen. No fridge yet. So this is the main part of the studio down here. I'm gonna put my desk in this area. Over here, we're gonna have a sofa, bookshelf here, some prints. I've got a chair coming in and a coffee table. This would be like a cool little living space. The idea is that for videos, I could set up my camera like right here. I like the stairs in the shot. The exposed staircase I think looks really cool. My desk will be right here. And so then I think that'll be kind of just a cool backdrop for videos. I think that's probably the most practical way to set everything up. I might actually even put the camera like in the bathroom here and pop it out. We'll see how it goes once I set everything up. This is the luxurious bathroom that we've got. There's not much to it. Look at this. That's luxury right there. Let's see. Upstairs. So up here is where I'm gonna have my podcast studio. So I wanna be able to have a place where I can do interviews, last second notice. I don't have to set up my gear, break it down. That's incredibly exhausting. And so I wanna do more and more interviews. And so up here is where I'm going to be setting that up. I'm gonna put the table right in the middle of the room. I'm gonna put the small blue sofa that's currently in my office. I'll put some lights, lamps, end table. Right here, I'm gonna put the map of Australia. And then right here, we've just got a lot of storage, which is really gonna come in handy. I'm definitely not gonna be painting these walls. Definitely don't wanna do that again. This really feels like the beginning of a new chapter. I have been just dreaming about this space for so long. I have just found balancing parenting with being a creator to be one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do. Is that a bug? Oh, gross. I think that's a cockroach. Oh no. So we've got cockroaches. Motherfucker. I haven't been this fired up since I got started on YouTube. I've got so many ideas, and I really think that this space is gonna help make all of that possible. This is the beginning of something pretty special, I think. Or maybe I will end up moving to another office in like 6 months' time. Because if we go based upon my track record, that's probably the most likely scenario. We have just gotten to a really good place right now where Frankie's sleeping really well. We're getting into a schedule. We're better understanding how to collaborate together and how to raise this kid while also doing all the things that are meaningful to us, from work to exercise and everything in between. And so it's definitely gonna be a real challenge. I guess the good news is we've got a little bit of time to figure it out. We've still got about 8 months until the baby comes as of recording this video. I'm optimistic I'm gonna get things in order by then. Slight problem, the coffee table that I bought didn't come with legs. So it turns out this is just box 1 of 2 and the legs haven't come in yet. So I'm gonna have to wait around for that. I'm not that great at decorating. I think I'm decent. I've gotten better, but one thing that I'm noticing as I'm starting to put everything together right now is that everything is very brown and woody. I don't know if that's a problem. I mean, if it all fits together, I guess, but is it all too much of the same thing? So I've got brown office chair, wood coffee table, wood bookshelf, wood, brown. I don't know. So I had a fatal accident the other day. I brought back the Chemex for the first time. This must have been since 2018, 2019. If you're an OG subscriber to my main channel, you will remember seeing the Chemex in some like early shots. It made its way into a slow-mo montage in my minimalist apartment, which was my first video that ever took off. But the other day I was on the phone with my sister, and then I was going to turn off the grinder right here, and then I accidentally touched the kettle right here, which was scalding hot, and then my hand flew back, hit the Chemex, it smashed against the sink, and just glass everywhere. It was a complete freaking mess. If you have a Chemex, you know that they're not cheap. So that was really disappointing. Not only the loss of money, but also the fact that I actually didn't have any other way to make coffee in the studio. And so I was just screwed. Anyway, the studio is all done. So let me give you guys a little bit of a look. That's it, that's all you get to see. No, I'm just kidding. I'll give you a quick little view of what everything looks like right now, even though it's quite messy and I'm still kind of like placing things. And then on my main channel, I'm gonna do a more thorough tour to kind of walk through all the nuts and bolts. I still got some boxes and shit that I need to clean up, so just ignore that right there. I've got a little kitchen island table. I still gotta mount that frame right there. That's the tiny little kitchen. I think that rug really like does a lot to make it look less sterile. And then also like you gotta have the Frankie artwork. Yeah, this is like the main area of the studio, I guess. This is my desk setup. Pretty nifty. And then here's the main backdrop for my videos, but also a place where I can just sit on the couch. So this is actually a pull-out sofa. So when I have family staying in Australia, they'll be able to stay here, which is pretty cool. And then I'll show you upstairs. So upstairs to me is really one of the coolest parts. I mean, I just love this whole studio. I'm like obsessed with it. But the fact that I have this space here to be able to interview people is just like, it's the best. Like I've wanted this for so long. There she is. Gotta get this hair light going. Hair light's on the ready at all times. I mean, what else can you ask for? Look at that, guys. Holy shit. What's also cool about this space is that I can shoot other videos from here. You know, it's the fact that I've just got the lighting and the camera set up at all times. This is also going to be the place where I do remote interviews. I actually did my first remote interview with Ramit Sethi a couple days ago, and it came out pretty good. There's a few elements to the interview and some stuff with the lighting that I want to fix. Right now I'm seeing this crazy like banding going on. Like, do you guys see this? Like in the corner back here, there's like some wild, like, I think it's called banding. I think that you're seeing this effect back here by the light. It's maybe because of the light itself and the intensity of it. It's a Hue bulb, it should be fine. I mean, it would probably just turn off. Yeah, it seems to have just gone away. I gotta figure out what that is. I mean, I like having that accent light though. Okay, anyway, we get distracted. So this is just like an amazing extra space that I'm gonna be able to not only interview people, but also film other videos in. Like, it's just always good to have additional backdrops for your videos. And yeah, like separation too. Like, since this is a spot where there's just a lot of gear set up at all times, it's great that I can have the downstairs almost completely clutter-free once I get those boxes out of here. Kind of like a peaceful, calm place for me to get into deep work mode. Because what has been challenging working from home is that I'd have this podcast stuff set up, and because it would take so long, like sometimes it would take me 6 to 8 hours to set up all of this gear, tweak it, dial it in, film, test, and like kind of be happy with the final results. A lot of times I would just leave it up at all times. But then doing that means that I'm working in this like insanely cluttered environment. And so now being able to like just enter into a clutter-free state of deep work has been incredibly helpful. So yeah, I'm so pumped about this space. I hope you guys are excited about it too. Just a little bit of shameless self-promotion. One of the ways that I'm actually making this whole studio and podcast possible is through Patreon support. So I've started my Patreon account back up. If you guys want to go check that out, it's patreon.com/MattDiavella. And by supporting on Patreon, you'll get all of the extended, unedited interviews from my podcast, which sometimes are twice as long. You'll get the uncut interviews from all of my YouTube interviews. You also just get extended footage and bonus footage that I don't release anywhere else. And the best part is that you can get everything for $5 per month. But like, let's just say like you're loaded and you just have a ton of money. You can also contribute $10 and get absolutely nothing extra. This is something that I saw from Beau Miles, who you might know is an awesome Australian YouTuber. I saw he did that on his Patreon account and I was like, that's cool. I like that. I'm gonna give it a try. One, because I think it's great to just make Patreon as accessible as possible. And two, there are people out there who want to give more and have the means to give more, and there's people that don't. And so just giving people an option to contribute more if they want to, I think is a pretty cool thing. I've got some incredible guests lined up. Can't wait to start sharing all this content with you. I'm back. Feels good. Let's go.